Alabama State Senator Harry Ann Smith has been in close contact with Ethan's family throughout this ordeal. Senator, good morning. It's good to see you again.
Good morning, Savannah.
I know you've been in daily contact with Ethan's mother. How is she doing? How was their reunion?
I spoke with one of the family members last night, and they said Ethan was doing really well. Lots of hugs and kisses going on, and that he was just his lovely, sweet little self. So they were so happy.
Have you learned anything more about the conditions of his confinement, how he was treated over these last 6-7 days?
You know, we were told earlier in the week that Mr. Dykes actually was being very kind to him, giving him his favorite foods, asking for coloring books, allowing him to watch cartoons, giving him his favorite snacks. So, but I'm sure, as the sheriff reported, that the conditions went downhill. He endured a lot, that little boy. But his mother told me one thing when we were sitting together over the last several days, that he's a brave little boy. And if you just took the time to get to know him, that everybody who meets him just loves him, that he's such a likable little boy, brave, and she said that he's going to love him.
Well, he's a little boy who has obviously been through a lot. As I understand it, you actually ran into Ethan's mother just at the moment she was finding out that the rescue had taken place. Can you tell us about that?
Lots of smiles. I actually was going over for my afternoon visit, and she was being rushed out the door along with her mother, the grandmother. And you could see she was visibly shaken, nervous, but I could see this little smile, and she gave me a big hug. And grandmother turned around and smiled and said, "You know, we love you." And they put them in a vehicle, and I later learned they were on their way to the hospital to be reunited with Ethan. So I know there was a lot of hugs and kisses.
Indeed, lots to come, especially tomorrow, his birthday. Alabama State Senator Harry Ann Smith, I know you've been a great support to the family in this last week. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you, guys.
And now here's Matt.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Clint Van Zandt is an NBC News analyst and former FBI hostage negotiator. Clint, good morning to you.
Hi, Matt. Good morning.
So many of the details being kept close to the vest by law enforcement on this, how they were able to see in that bunker, did they get a camera in there, how they knew this had taken a turn for the worse, how the suspect actually died. Is that the right course of action in something like this?
I think it is, Matt, because the team that did the rescue is also the national team we'd call upon in a major terrorist incident. So we want to keep those things close to the vest. We know bad guys watch television and movies and everything else to get information. And the last thing the FBI wants to do is give up their methods, their techniques, and have terrorists use your show or somebody else's as a training film to understand how we go after them the next time.
Clint, you have been the guy on the other end of the phone in these hostage negotiations. How do you know when the time has come to take an enormous risk like this, knowing that some action against the suspect could also result in harm to the young boy in this case?
Yeah, there's an ongoing cost-benefit analysis that you do, Matt. There's three components, really. Number one is the negotiators who've been talking to Mr. Dykes for the entire week, who are going to provide information. Is he up? Is he down? Has the emotional threat level increased? Then you're going to look at the information you have, in this case, the alleged cameras that show him walking around with a gun in a menacing fashion. And finally, the tactical team has to say, we believe with a high degree of certainty that we can get in and make a successful rescue if we have to. That's the time the on-scene commander says, okay, I believe the threat level is so high to that little boy, we have no choice, and we're not going to wait and let him get killed inside and then go. The FBI made a decision to go. Right decision, obviously, and that little boy's alive today because of that.
And Clint, as the guy who is the negotiator at that moment, I would imagine your role changes dramatically. And instead of trying to gain the release of that little boy, you are now a distractor in some way. You are trying to keep the suspect calm, even though you know the storm is coming.
You know the storm that's coming. The negotiators and the tactical team work very, very closely together. And, Matt, you can't skip a beat. You can't give any indication that you know something's going to change because you want to lull the hostage taker into a sense of complacency. You want to create that 2-3 second window of opportunity emotionally where the tactical team can go in, take the person by surprise, and by the time he's able to react, they've already dealt with him.
Clint Van Zandt, always interesting to get your perspective on something like this. Clint, thank you very much.